Hello, hello. All right, Ophiuchus, let's get into this, shall we? Ophiuchus, let's see where we go. This is by popular demand. I was doing a Capricorn read, and I got a request in the chat to get an Ophiuchus storyline out today, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's go for it. So thanks for letting me know that you guys are hungry for the Ophiuchus stories. I love hearing it. Thank you. So we start out with questionable passion, okay? Because it's almost like Ophiuchus is sitting here doubting, like, I don't see how they could have had passion for me if they did me wrong and caused me this much grief. Okay, that's how the message begins. Now, this may not be Ophiuchus feeling this way. We have Libra here. This could be somebody else feeling that Ophiuchus has hurt them. And they're questioning, how could somebody who's passionate about me cause me this much grief? We have a Two of Pentacles. We have a Three of Wands with a Wheel of Fortune. In the very, very, very near future, this entire thought process is going to change dramatically. It's not going to be the way it feels right now. It's not going to come out the way it appears to be. Something is transforming. Balance is going to come in. That question that is surrounded by that hurt feeling, that grief, that feeling of somebody being gone out of my life, and how could they possibly have done this to me? How could they hurt me so? That question is going to be replaced by answers and a massive change. Now, I want to know what is going to be changing, right? Because that's beautiful. I'm always so happy when I see things changing for a character, but let me see, what is it that will be changing, Ophiuchus? The Four of Cups. So the deep disappointment, the regret, the sorrow, the illusion, the feeling of something being over and ruined is going to be dealt with. And then we have the Queen of Wands in the upright. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking right now we have two people feeling the exact same way. What's going to be changing is someone's going to be feeling a huge amount of regret over the idea that, wait a minute, but Ophiuchus was like this shining light. Ophiuchus wanted me. I'm wondering, what is their regret going to be about? Hold on. Five of Swords, Judgment, that they allowed something to get in the way. I'm wondering if this was a difficult connection, a troubled connection. Maybe there was a whole family involved that shouldn't have been involved. Maybe there was a lot of conflict. Maybe there was a Scorpio specifically involved. But what they regret is that I almost feel like one person thought Ophiuchus doesn't really like me. Ophiuchus has been over here saying, how could they just be vacant? How could they exit this connection and leave me hurting if they were really, that passionate? Because for whatever reason, this character thought, oh, Ophiuchus probably won't want me. Maybe their family is a huge problem. Maybe there's a lot of conflict. Maybe they thought there's just no way that this could work. Maybe Ophiuchus's family, they thought, didn't like him. There was some reason that they got all down in the dumps. Again, these are fictional stories about fictional characters, but they got all down in the dumps and convinced themselves somehow that it was so much of a blockage. But then they're thinking about it going, oh my God, but wait a second. Ophiuchus was like, they showed me consistency. They showed me love. They showed me that they kept a light on for me, for goodness sakes. So wait a minute. Why am I thinking this way? Tell me about that Two of Pentacles. The thing that's coming into balance. Ooh, the Devil, the fears, the Eight of Swords, the stuck energy, and then the Hierophant, the higher self, steps in. Okay, so what's coming into balance is the fear of, I just don't know. I'm so nervous. I think that there's no way Ophiuchus could want me. There's no way this could work. Versus the deep inner knowledge of, but I can't move on from Ophiuchus. I want them. And we do seem like we match. So Why let the fears get in the way? I really feel like this person was, they're going to be finally balancing out the energy of fear versus desire. Now, could they have had some really toxic family that created a lot of drama that made them almost feel like they, said negative things, tried to convince them that Ophiuchus didn't really love them? It's very possible. And they were puppeted by those very toxic family members. The bottom line is, somewhere deep down, they already know that Ophiuchus is my match, though. This is a person I want to marry. This is a person that I jive with them. They loved me. I saw it in them. They held that candle for me. They wanted me. Ophiuchus wanted me. So why did I doubt it to the point that I walked away? I mean, yeah, it's why doubt it to the point where they walk away? Tell me about the Justice card. We got the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. So definitely they thought they were doing Ophiuchus a favor by walking away in this story. It was like, you don't know, it's just going to be a mess. You'd have to deal with my whole family. There's just no way. Money is not good enough. I won't be able to give you what you deserve. There's just no way. And I don't know if they had some really bad advice stirred up from past family members that like completely tainted their vision of this connection. I don't know if they got left behind before, or like divorced or left at the altar or something, but that's what it's making me think happened here, that they got left behind before, and that was brought back to their memory. Remember when you got left behind? Remember how it doesn't work? Remember how somebody didn't want me? It feels like somebody reminded them of all that, and then they thought, well, you're not going to want to be with me anyway, because I should just, you should be with somebody better than me. That is a very hurtful thing, to walk away from someone, even though we can see why they did it, because they were hurting. Tell me about how this is getting resolved. What's the big change coming up? Because it said, and very soon, the divine timing, here we go again. Ophiuchus shows up again and again in the energy of a Queen of Wands, which makes sense just because Ophiuchus is so close to Sag energy. I just feel like the fact that we have this total change, 2 times in a row, we see Ophiuchus holding a light. In this case, it's a sunflower. In this case, it's a candle. Not all Queen of Wands are seen holding a light of some kind. Lots of times, but not always. So I think that there's something here that is going to be illuminated. And I think it is literally Ophiuchus feeling, instead of hurt, they're saying, wait a minute. Let me think about, what do I know to be true? Instead of me feeling wounded by how could they do this? Why would they have walked away from me? I know exactly why they did. And I personally am not going to feel wounded by this or hurt by this. I know I'm a catch. And at some point in time, if they can get out of their own head, out of their own way, I know that they loved me. I know that they still do. But they've got to find the courage to come toward me. I think Ophiuchus's own energy is turning in a more positive vibe, because they know what they're worth. They know that this person did care about them. This person didn't walk out because they didn't care about Ophiuchus, is what this says. This is a needlessly complicated situation. They need to not be running away because of, triggers and such. They should just be glad that they have somebody who's been stable and has been loving, because ultimately that's the thing that they really feared, is that they weren't going to be good enough. Ophiuchus wasn't going to want to stay with them. It'd be a repeat of something else they already went through. Somebody convinced him of that. Oh, it's going to be too difficult. Probably Ophiuchus won't stay with you either. And they decided to listen to that negative voice. And Ophiuchus is combating this in the upcoming future by just saying, look, I love who I love. I love who's worthy. I don't care. I gave my heart to somebody that I wanted to give it to. And you know what? I'm worthy of being loved. Ophiuchus's energy is so strong in this. We have the Justice, we have the Page of Cups, we have the Two of Pentacles, and we have the Knight of Cups. I swear, I feel like just that mindset shift of I'm not going to be crying and sad and feeling like, how could they do me wrong? I'm going to instead say, I don't understand why someone can't choose their own happiness. That's them doing themselves wrong. It's a very empowered mindset shift, I would say. And that may be exactly the energy that kind of opens up that doorway, that energetic doorway. Because let's put it this way, when we're upset, sad, angry, mad, feeling hurt, those are kind of like emotions that shut us down. When we're standing here shining is when our emotions are most open, when our energy is most open. And even like, I think if anything, what we're seeing is Ophiuchus going from I was so wounded, I was so hurt to, you know what? Whoever gave that person such terrible, planted such terrible fears in their head, that person, that's a real jerk attitude because I loved them and I know they loved me. So if they can get out of their own way, they can come back in and this can still get worked out. And I think that strong attitude of confidence is what's really shifting and changing. And I think it's flowing that positive outward energy that is allowing somebody, I feel like they're coming back in to very humbly make an apology, but I don't think Ophiuchus is going to be mad or hurt or feel like you did me dirty. If anything, they're going to say, okay, so once again, that Two of Pentacles, right? This has to get balanced. We have to make some kind of a pact that the thing we're going to protect is our romance. So if you care about me and I care about you, who cares about everybody outside of this? Let's make this be the thing that we protect and the thing that we keep moving toward, instead of letting, there will always be people that want to tear something good apart, always. But let's not let that happen. I really think that this energy of, let me ask about that Page of Cups card, because I feel like that is them returning, because they're already sitting here in this huge amount of, like, they can't believe they messed this up because it's clicking. Wait a second, but Ophiuchus cared about me. Nine of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. I really think that this character in this storyline, this is them coming in like refreshed and determined. This could be a same-sex couple, doesn't have to be, but I feel like this is them coming in refreshed and determined to say, no, I don't want this to be hurtful. I want this to be something that we grow, something that we grow together. I want this to be something real. I'm not going to let fears pull me away anymore. Because they really, for a while, they listened to somebody say, you know, it won't end well with you and Ophiuchus. And it was all this external conflict and drama, right? Here they are running through a graveyard and all these swords are coming at them, but the two of them didn't have problems. Ophiuchus and this person didn't have issues. The issues came from external sources. And it looks like a big old family group that keeps wanting to bring up things from the past and kind of plant this idea that, you know, Ophiuchus didn't want to be with you. And they listened to that negativity for a while and decided, yeah, it's probably too much of a mess. Ophiuchus wouldn't want to be with me, until they finally think, wait a minute, this is crazy talk. I'm in love with them, and I think they're in love with me. I know they were in love with me. It's like the reality of how two people actually feel about each other is finally what comes back to the surface after all this needless drama. And I think if these two are going to be able to have success, it's there has to be consistency, and there has to be like, okay, Ophiuchus now knows that they're dealing with somebody who, they have their fears, right? They have their wounds, they have their scars and cuts from the very people that they've, you know, maybe been dealing with in close quarters, you know, family or whatever. But these two shouldn't have to doubt whether or not they want this relationship to work. That's the biggest thing. They got to get above all the din and the noise and say what matters is us. Our relationship is what matters. So let's keep that intact. Let's not let anybody else have an opinion or anybody else stir up drama. This looks like this whole situation is going to be completely not just salvaged, but a much needed like purging of and bringing into light any negative fears, any kinds of confusion. Because for a while they really thought Ophiuchus probably won't want to be with me, and then that made them withdraw. That energy had to come to the surface, be looked at, and then be totally dismissed, and then they can move forward. So anyway, I'm glad it got solved. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Lots of love. I will see you guys again soon. Bye.